I don't know if the way like the lineup, with the girls, I don't know if they went with this order on purpose or what. It was like going through a lineup of bosses in a fighting game. Especially if you watch the video, the last shot, it's a group shot of them. It looks like it's a loading screen of like the four bosses that you're gonna fight. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rated G. I'm your host, G. Dara. You are new here. Welcome to the show here on the podcast. I'd like to share honest thoughts and discussions pertaining to anything and all things art and creativity. And I often feature local artists, creatives, small business owners to help promote their brand, as well as just having an in-depth long-form conversation, sharing stories and insights within our craft and what goes into it. So if you enjoy this content and you want to support the podcast, please be sure to hit that follow or subscribe button, ring the notification bell, that way you can keep up with all the current uploads. Also, because this also airs on YouTube, if you want to support my YouTube channel where I post more of my artwork and video blogs when I'm doing markets, please check it out. All the links will be in the show description. And of course, you can also follow me on social media at Art of G Terado. And for everyone else who is a returning listener or viewer, welcome back to the show and thank you for your continued support. And lastly, please don't be shy to leave a like if you do indeed like the content, and leave a comment to help out the algorithm, because that's a thing, right? So yeah, that'd be awesome. Now, I had a guest cancellation at the last minute, so here we are. It's just gonna be you and me. And before I actually officially start the episode, I just have to address a couple things. One, this microphone, I've talked about it often, how powerful it is, because I live right by the train tracks. So anytime the train rolls by, you hear it, and it's wow. But yeah, I've always talked about how strong, how powerful this mic is, and how well it takes in, everything that's going on around me. And right before I started recording, I don't know, again, like I don't know if it's the power of the microphone, or perhaps how thin the walls and the ceiling is, but I heard people in the hallway walking past and I was able to hear them. Not clearly, not, I wasn't able to, you know, identify, like, tell what they were saying, but I heard voices through the walls, unless there's a ghost here. That's another thing. Maybe this microphone is picking up what is it? EVPs, I think is the term. I don't know. I'm not a ghost investigator or anything. But anyway, so yeah, I just want to address the power of the microphone and perhaps the thinness of my walls and the ceiling. So I will apologize in advance if you hear the train roll by, because guaranteed you probably will. And then the second thing I want to address is now YouTube has like this rule now regarding profanity. I guess the first 15 seconds of your content, if there's profanity in it, there's chances that your content won't be will be demonetized. So I'm gonna have to remind myself, especially in regards to whatever clips I use as the preview to start the episode. I gotta make sure future G, make sure you edit out any profanity. So I'm gonna do my best. And so yeah, that's all I wanted to address. So this episode will sort of mainly be revolving around this K-pop group XG, because if you follow me on social media, I've shared some clips in my stories. I've been mind blown by this. It's actually kind of funny. It's a K-pop group, or they're big in the K-pop industry, but they are actually a Japanese girl group. But it's crazy because they're trilingual artists. Uh, so yeah, they're a Japanese girl group. So they sing in English, Japanese, and Korean. All right, and I feel like that's the new thing now. Or I mean, it's been going on for a while, right? Uh, but yeah, a lot of these trilingual vocalists are coming out, taking the scene, and it's amazing. I do want to say the first artist or hip hop artist that was bilingual. I don't think she speaks any other languages or raps in any other languages, but the first bilingual rapper that I discovered was Snow the Product. And then I fell in love with this young Filipino rapper, Easy Mill. I've talked about him a couple times here on the podcast. I've done like multiple sketches of him, portrait sketches. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel that with one of his tracks, and one of the it was a weird tie-in with his music, the portrait I was working on of him, and then it was like a weird tie-in with my art series Tech Utopia. And it's a weird tie-in because just visually, but there is the last part of the song I used was just such a, I don't know, I felt like it just really played into sort of my narrative with this painting series. So you can check that out. But yeah, and now, so I had raved about Easy Mill for quite some time, and then this group XG kind of just took us all by the storm. Is that the right phrasing? Anyway, I'm when it comes to music, I don't know, I'm very picky, especially nowadays. I tend to just stick with what I like. Something has to be extraordinarily profound for me to get hooked onto something. And it could just be like one song, or it can be like the whole album, whatever. And so yeah, and I feel like this is kind of what's happening with this group. A lot of people, I don't know why I'm saying we. I'm just gonna talk about myself. I first discovered them from this TikTok clip, because one of the members of the group, their youngest member of the group, she's 16, probably 17 by now. I don't know, man. The clip, in the clip, you see she just kind of comes in hard.
C to the OCO and AB popping on the NATO waves. Who would have doubted it would turn up on it like a fadeaway? She for the don't get lazy flow. When I'm away, no play, no games. Hold up, let me just play my throw quick. Okay.
Her voice does not fit her appearance. She looks like this very delicate, beautiful, kind of like this world. She has like this nice like headpiece. I don't know. I get like a royal vibe from her, but also like a bad bitch vibe too. Like So I don't know, just judging by appearance, right? And then you hear her voice when she starts rapping.
레벨이 nobody never win that 모돌이 나시 우치라면 take it the one met 것도 나 has not like us cold na be the new genesis stage 각각 flicking the wrist comedy show we go put on to rest taking no L's and giving no F's
And it's like, oh shit, whoa, where's this coming from? Also, by the way, I need to clarify the clip that I saw. It's from a cipher. So if you're not familiar with what a cipher is, it's sort of like a how should I say without butchering it? Because I'm not like a huge hip hop, you know, enthusiast. Like I love hip hop, but I'm not like in the game of hip hop. But from what I've gathered from the ciphers I've seen, it's kind of like a showcase of, a lineup of rappers, right? So they'll use like a sample from like a classic hip hop song and they'll, sample it and then these rappers kind of come in one by one and they spit something. I think it used to just be like a freestyle. Now I feel like nowadays rappers will kind of have something prepared. So I mean, there's so many ciphers. I honestly, if I'm being honest here, I really only followed ciphers when Eminem was on it. Eminem and his label, with Shady, and so like Yellow Wolf, Joe Budden. Well, Joe Budden's not in it anymore. Who else is on there? Yeah, my mind is going blank. You got Yellow Wolf, Crooked X, Royce the 5'9", Joey Ortiz. I feel like I'm missing someone else. Anyway, but yeah, so I would pay attention whenever Eminem would drop a cipher, or whenever. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to lose track of my thoughts. So XG, they're known to be this K-pop group. They K-pop is like huge now. It's actually really funny how America has just really grasped the music genre of K-pop. And I'll touch in on that at the end of this, like at the end of this whole discussion. But anyway, so XG, Korean pop group. Now there were a handful, four to be exact. There are four members of that group, 4 out of 7, I should say, four members that are known to rap. Because in their music and their original music, like, they got a little bit of like hip hop flow, but like in their, in the vocals. So, yeah, they and like this group like just started blowing up. I guess like towards the end of last year, I think. I didn't discover them till I don't know, maybe like a month ago. Because the cipher that they released, I think, came out maybe a couple months ago, or maybe like December. Anyway, so they dropped a cipher. They dropped one cipher, which only had 2 of the 4 rappers of the group, and it's called Chill Bill, and it's like a couple minutes long, and it's pretty cool. Like they used the sample from the Kill Bill movie, and they sampled that, and then 2 of their members, Jordan and Harvey, were in it, and then later they came out with a cipher tape 2, and it's called Galz Xypher. It's cipher with the X, and then they had 2 additional rappers, the rest of the rappers in that group, Kokona, Maya, and Harvey and Jordan. Now, again, when I saw the TikTok clip of the youngest rapper, which her name is Kokona, uh, I didn't even know, like I had no idea like what exactly I was seeing. Like I just saw this clip. I was really into it because again, I like hip hop, and I shared it immediately. I was like, yo, I don't know exactly what I said. I shared it on a Facebook. I don't know exactly what I said, but it was along the lines of like hip hop is not dead. It is very much alive. Uh so I was just blown away by this young woman, this young girl, really, right? This young girl's talent, uh everything that makes a rapper, honestly. Like the way she sounds, like if you looked at her, she just looks kind of like a typical, Japanese girl. But the way she spits sounds like she grew up in hip hop. Like that's how impressive it was. Uh in the second Xypher. So I didn't then at the time when I posted it, I didn't realize it was part of a cipher. I thought she was just like a solo artist. And then I find out she's part of a K-pop group. And they then had released a full cipher with three other girls. So when I started seeing more stuff in my YouTube, because of course algorithms, I was like, all right, I gotta check this out. Because like again, that clip was so hard. Like if you've never seen it, I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you're a K-pop fan and or a hip hop fan. Check this out. Check these girls out because they are very talented. Seriously. Um, but yeah, I actually talked about this group 2 episodes ago. With my guests Dara and Carrasco. Episode 150 to be exact. And I couldn't help myself bring this girl group up because I was just so in it. Like I fell into this deep rabbit hole of like just like when I find a song that I love, I listen to it on repeat. Like seriously. And then I fall into a rabbit hole of watching YouTube reactors react to it because I don't know, because I'm like an empath, or I don't know if that pertains to that. Like, like I just was like feeding off their I mean, like maybe that's why there are reactors, YouTube reactors. But I was like, I was feeling what they were feeling. And yeah, so I fell in this deep rabbit hole, and yeah, I just had to talk about it with somebody before I talk about it alone, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's besides the point. So on that episode, I was talking about this group with my guests, and then it kind of went through. I mean, maybe we can swipe to a clip of it.
Okay, so we're talking about K-pop, so
Yeah.
a K-pop group. So we're obviously talking about Koreans. I have found that imitation is the highest, goodness gracious, is the highest flattery.
Yeah.
But I find that there is nothing that they touch that they don't do well. Whether they are singing, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that say, oh, people are culture vultures, or they are stealing things or whatever, or taking stuff or whatever. And I really don't know where I sit with that, because I came from an era where, come on, we had Vanilla Ice. We had a lot of white rappers and different things or whatever, but predominantly rap as a genre was Black people. we didn't have this big crazy uproar or whatever about white people doing rap or whatever because it was a culture. Does that make sense?
I think,
Rap itself was a culture. It was black, but it was a subculture of black being black, if that makes sense.
okay.
So we didn't pay too much attention to a lot of things because we didn't take it necessarily as people trying to be black as much as people trying to be a part of hip hop culture. Does that make sense? When I look at Koreans and stuff, and like right now, they are doing a lot of like gospel music.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they do a lot of gospel music. And I'm not talking about like today's gospel music. I'm talking about, and I don't know what your church references are or whatever, but like old BB and CC Winans. And I mean, just like dated stuff, like for real gospel music and stuff.
Okay.
And now the rapping and different things. And, even sometimes it's funny to me because you can see them wearing shirts and they're terrible shirts and they don't necessarily know what the sayings mean on the shirts. And so it's hard for me because then that's when you understand that there may be some imitation to this. Does that make sense? So I don't know how I feel about it. I think I want to feel like, and I choose to feel like I'm flattered by it.
Uh,
And then that's it.
at the time, I thought I understood, but as I look back, I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't quite get it. But I wanted to have this like rebuttal of like, like sure, maybe you're not impressed because of what she said, but I wanted to kind of come back with like, I think it's the appreciation that this whole other culture is embracing the hip hop culture to the point where they're writing, as they say, the pen work is just like, it's phenomenal. Like like these girls, they all had bars, they all had flow. What else? Like just the wordplay and stuff. Like they had it all, if I'm being honest. Excuse me. So anyway, I don't want to get lost in that whole thing with Dara, but yeah, so I just want to express a little bit more about just basically just how amazing this cipher was. Like something another thing I said about the cipher is that the video was just like it was so good. The way it was edited, the way it was shot, the way it was edited, everything, the set design, the wardrobe, the makeup, like it was just astonishing. I'm running out of words. So just like the whole video itself, I was like, yo, this is a piece of art right here. Like this is just like everything from the music to the visuals, the set design and all that stuff that I mentioned before. So yeah, and that's why I fell into this deep rabbit hole with that cipher specifically. And yeah, I guess I'm just like, I'm gonna be reiterating myself here, but I guess I'm just so fascinated by how well, these four just like how well they performed. Like it was crazy. And watching the cipher, like I don't know if the way like the lineup, with the girls, I don't know if they went with this order on purpose or what. It was like going through a lineup of bosses in a fighting game. Especially if you watch the video, the last shot, it's a group shot of them. It looks like it's a loading screen of like the four bosses that you're gonna fight. To kind of go back to the beginning, right, with Kokona, like I was describing, like, she came in hard, right? She came in swinging. Like I get the vibe that she was like the muscle, right? Even though she's the youngest one, right? It's like it's very what's the word? Una Not unappealing, but she doesn't appear to be like this, you know, she looks like a nice delicate flower, but fucking packs the punch. So I felt like she kind of like she was like the muscle. And then Maya came in and I felt like she was like the sniper. Like she was real slick with her strikes and like and I should mention each girl's Xypher, like they each had a different beat. Like there was a different beat for each girl. So like with her beat, with the sample they use, for some reason, like when hers starts, like I always like envision because I'm a combat sports fan. So I keep envisioning like fighters' footwork. and or like even like a basketball player dribbling, just doing drills with the ball. And yeah, she kind of just came off real slick with like these sniper shots. And then Harvey being sort of like the little more calmer, more melodic, but seductive. Like I got like this sort of seductive vibe from her. A lot of YouTubers or reactors would comment saying they get a Ariana vibe, and I kind of got that too. Like I was like, oh, she's like an Asian Ariana, but better. That's right. I'm Asian biased. Um, but yeah, like like Ariana Grande, but who can rap? Um, Actually, again, going back to Kokona, I don't know who she reminds me of. I mean, I feel like the real like rappers of these out of these girls, all three of them kind of remind me of like the same rapper, Emil. From if you're not familiar who she is, um she was in Can I Get a Whoop What with Jay-Z and Ja Rule. Um, I don't know, so I was kind of getting that vibe from her, at least in terms of the tonality of their voice. Uh, this Maya kind of has a more of a I'm thinking Eve from Rough Riders. Um, but I mean, again, like I've been out of the loop with a lot of the hip hop artists, so I know you got like Doja Cat and whoever, Cardi B, and I don't like them personally. I don't follow any of their music. So I talked about Harvey, and then so yeah, Jordan, she's got that. Yeah, she just has like she is actually. I should point out she's the leader. She's the leader of the whole K-pop group. So I guess that explains why she had like this final boss vibe, like this aura. And yeah, and her in particular, her voice actually reminds me more so of Emil. But yeah, like watching the YouTube reactors was real fun. Um and Yeah, I'm now at the end of like I'm starting to phase out of it. I feel like I've watched all the good reaction videos because quite frankly, I've talked about this a while ago about YouTube reactors, like because the internet's a wide space for any type of content creator, and I tend to gravitate towards especially pertaining like in this thing in the pocket here about like hip hop. Like I love watching hip hop reactors that are themselves are rappers, lyricists, that are performers in that, you know, in that whole thing. Or maybe even producers too, like music producers. Like I like watching YouTube reactors that actually pursue this career as opposed to your normies, like just straight up reactors. And you can tell as I was going deeper and deeper into the YouTube reactors, I've started noticing like you can tell who's like really in the game by the length of their content, because the people that I actually appreciate their input and everything and their insight their videos are, I don't know, like 13 to like 20 minutes long, maybe sometimes even longer. Uh, and you can tell like they're breaking down everything. Like I love that. I love when you got rappers breaking down the bars that are being delivered and like why, the significance of their lyrics and the wordplay and all that. So I love that. But then you get to the normies, I'll call them, and it's just straight up reaction, and it's maybe 7 minutes long or something like that. I mean, I'm not trying to like disparage them. Do your thing, live and let live. But I'm just expressing like why I'm picky with my YouTube reactors. uh, Now, my final thought in regards to XG is that well, I'm gonna say because I've been talking about their ciphers so much. I I checked into their actual music because I think they only have like 3 or 4 songs out. Checked out their music, um, and they're good. They're very catchy. It For me, it actually was it was kind of nostalgic. Um, excuse me. It was a little nostalgic. I grew up I'm a 90s kid. So, and I'm thinking maybe the reason why, like America and the rest of the world are really invested in on K-pop right now is because perhaps how reminiscent and how nostalgic like that particular sound is. Because when I listen to XG's songs, they kind of reminded me of the boy bands, girl bands, all the pop groups from the late 90s, early 2000s. So I'm wondering if that's why the greater population is just all in with the K-pop groups uh because of their sound. I don't know. Then again, like I'm not a I'm not a K-pop fan. Like I just like this group. Like I'll keep I'll keep following this group here. Um but yeah, I mean they're again like their music is good. It's catchy and keeps you going. Like I'm probably going to end up, adding their music to my you know my phone or whatever because I still do that. uh but yeah, my final thoughts in regards to XG is that I mean, I would love it if they I don't want to say if they only focused on hip hop, but it would be really cool if they did sort of what they did with the Cypher, if they actually did like a side B album with just the rappers of the group and they have, I don't know, let's say like 7 tracks of like just straight up hip hop with that same energy that they had with their 2 ciphers that they released. Like that'd be awesome. Like I would really like that personally. But yeah, that's generally my thoughts on XG. Yeah, I guess I'm a fan. I'll say casual fan because I'm not like everybody loves like the original tracks and rightfully so. They're great. They're great songs. But I just, you know, the last few years I've just been so like into hip hop music. And again, there's a lot of artists I don't know. I'm just talking about the hip hop music that I'm into that I tend to stick with. And I don't know, when I hear if I hear, a new artist or even like a new song from an artist that that I was following, like I just, I'll gravitate towards that and, add that into my library. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like because I was talking to a friend about, we were talking about Linkin Park because they released the track. I think it was called Lost. I only listened to it like once or twice, to be honest. But we are just talking about music, like our taste, and you know, they themselves, they purely just like rock, that's fine. Like I love all types of music too. From folk to, international. Like I love all, for the most part, most of the genres. I don't like country. Like that's not my taste. I don't hate it, but that's not, I'm not gonna be like, hey, can you put on that song by McGrath or whatever. But yeah, like I tend to just gravitate towards hip hop, and more so like the hip hop that's like, that's just all about like, they just bring that energy, like, yeah, I'm coming to the scene, I'm taking over, like that type of shit. Like I love that shit. And that's what a lot of like NF, like I've talked about NF in the past, like a lot of his music, and in the beginning was like him, like, it was just kind of like getting pumped up, getting hyped up. Like I love hype rap music, hype hip hop. All right. Like I love that shit. And Easy Mill had that same energy in the beginning of his career too. And that's what, again, these ciphers were like. It was just like, we're coming to take over and this and that. And like I love that. I love that energy. So I tend to, again, I'm drawn towards that kind of music. Although, like, again, if I hear like a rock song or a rock group or any other type of music that really kind of hits me to the core, I'll fall into that rabbit hole of their catalog of music. Um, so yeah. That's sort of my way of getting into new music nowadays, I guess. Where are we at? About 40 minutes. All right. I'm gonna quickly wrap up with a few articles. That's right. If you're familiar with the podcast, when I do solo recordings, I tend to get into a news roundup because honestly, because doing these like news roundups, now I'm always going through you know, my Facebook really, and I'm saving articles that pique my interest that I think would be, fun and interesting to discuss on the podcast. So, oh my God, it gets out of hand at this point. It gets way out of hand. And the last couple times I was doing it, like I was breaking an hour. I mean, I'm probably gonna pass an hour on this episode as well, but I'm gonna try my best not to really drag too much. Um, you know, go on too long on these articles. There's just a couple things again that sort of piqued my interest, and I kind of want to like check out these articles and see what they're about and just talk about it real quick. So yeah, let's get into it. Um, this one I thought was very interesting because I actually had have had these thoughts lately about how I've been using my time and my productivity. So this first article, let me open it. Because I've expressed, falling in, getting burnt out with, especially with podcasting. When you are single-handedly producing your own podcast, I don't know, it gets really you can burn yourself out, especially, you're recording, you're coming up with the content, the criteria, like all the stuff, the editing, all that shit. uh it's exhausting. And I don't know, I always like, anytime, like, because I took a short hiatus, and I've noticed like when I'm podcasting, a good chunk of my week is dedicated towards the podcast, from recording to reviewing and editing and all that, and making clips for it. So, and like, it's definitely taken my focus away from the artwork, which it does kill me inside a little bit. And I notice when I, podcasting, I always save, for some reason, I always use Monday uh, as one of my days to cut up some clips from the podcast that had just released. And I don't know, for some reason I've always looked at Monday. Monday has always been a challenge for me to get back onto the artwork. So looking at my sort of my schedule, my reminders, like all the art stuff is sometimes saved for like in the middle of the week or later in the evening on certain days. But Monday is like the day I don't touch any artwork, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like just again the burnout from podcasting or what. I don't know. So I'm wondering if I'm trying to figure out what it is for me that's like, you know, like I use like Monday is kind of like an easy what's the word? It's like a warm-up day for the rest of the week. Like Monday I'll ease into the heavy workload. So I came across this article and the headline says, I do bare minimum Mondays at work to help beat the Sunday scaries and avoid burnout. It's completely changed my life and how I approach my job. Now I want to clarify that I actually have not, like, I tend to peek into the articles that I'm going to go over, but for the most part, I actually have not read through any of these. So yeah, this TikTok creator and startup founder Marissa Jomays has gone viral for doing bare minimum Mondays. It helps her avoid. Okay, yeah, that's the headline just said. So in 2020, I worked in medical device sales. I was completely miserable and burned out. Is it burned out or burnt out? Anyway, I thought the problem was my boss or the work culture in corporate America, so I quit my job and gave self-employment a whirl. Okay, that explains it. Because I feel like there's no bare minimum Mondays when you're working for an actual job, especially if you're working on site. All right, let's skip this part. Every week, the Sunday scaries would hit, and every Monday, I'd sleep in until the absolute last second because I knew that list was waiting for me. The pressure I was putting on myself was paralyzing, and I realized something had to change. Right off the bat, my initial my solution to that, honestly, and I think if you're for my audience who is familiar with me and my lifestyle, my solution to that would be exercise. I know it's tough to get up early in the morning to exercise, but I guarantee if you push yourself to it and get through an exercise, it doesn't have to be excruciating. It could just be enough to get your heart rate up and release the endorphins and dopamines, right? So if you can do that, I think that would help with the Sunday scaries. Again, to each their own. That's my method. That's how I get through my day every day, is my early morning workouts. Moving on. One day last March, I gave myself permission to do the absolute bare minimum of work, and it was like some magic spell came over me. I felt better. I wasn't overwhelmed, and I actually got more done than I expected. I've done more bare minimum Mondays every week since. Managing expectations was really important. I learned to cut out wishful thinking tasks and aim for 2 to 3 important things that'll move the needle. And I'm thrilled when I finish those. I don't take meetings. Yeah, on Mondays, I don't take meetings and take it slow for the first 2 hours. I'll do some reading, some journaling, maybe some Okay. I mean, all right. It it's funny because like judging by what she's describing here, it's kind of like what I do every day. Like before I actually step into my office and get working. Um, but around 10 or so, I let myself do whatever I want creatively. It could be shooting could be shooting content or making visuals for my brand. It's work related, but make sure it's creative work that I enjoy. Okay, fair enough. So if it's at 10, when does she wake up? That's the question. Like what time do you get up on Mondays? Because I get up every day at 5 a.m. And then I hit the gym around quarter to 7, 7 o'clock. Uh, Most comments I've received about Bare Minimum Mondays are either "you're living my dream" or "what an entitled millennial who doesn't know the value of hard work." At one point in my corporate career, I probably would have rolled my eyes too, but after experiencing burnout, I get it. Uh, I'm a I'm a neurodivergent, and I think for neurodivergent people who often do extra mental lifting that neurotypical people don't do in order to mask or fit in, because we're overcompensating, we can be more prone to. All right, I understand. Bare minimum Monday isn't realistic for everybody. Yeah. Anyway, all right, I kind of get the gist of it. Moving on. All right, this is all right, this one's kind of fucked up. Uh Fucked up for an artist. Like well, not heartbreaking, I would say. Maybe. Well, for me it would be. So, woman accidentally shatters 42K balloon dog sculpture at Miami Art Fair. So, a woman was attending the art Wynwood Fair in Miami, accidentally broke a balloon dog sculpture by Jeff Koons. Boy, what a last name to have. All right, he's a white guy. um, so all right, the shiny electric blue. I mean, you know what? It's pretty cool. I mean, it just looks like a metallic balloon animal. But this shiny electric blue sculpture valued at $42,000 was being displayed at Bel Air Fine Arts booth during the fair's VIP preview show. Ooh, there's pictures. The sculpture, which was about 16 inches tall and 19 inches long, was sitting on a transparent pedestal at the fair, where more than 50 galleries worldwide were showcasing their works. Let's get to I want to hear these statements here. So the district manager of Art Winwoods, Cedric Boero. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Whatever. Told CNN that one of the official representatives for the famous Jeff Koons balloon dog sculpture. Oh, what? Whatever. I'm getting lost in this shit. Here's their statement. Of course, it is heartbreaking to see such an iconic piece destroyed. There have been 799 editions of the sculpture made, according to CNN, and a giant inflatable nylon version of the sculpture graced the stage for several Jay-Z concerts in 2017. That's cool. Let's get to some more quotes here. The collector never intended to break. Oh, the collector. Okay. So the collector never intended to break the sculpture. In fact, she never touched it with her hands. It was the opening cocktail. Oh, so the opening cocktail, lots of people were on our booth. She gave unintentionally a little kick in the pedestal, which was enough to cause the sculpture to fall down. Oh, Why would you do that? Why would like why would you kick it? Little That's so stupid. You dumb bitch. Uh so this kind of thing unfortunately happens. That is why the artwork was covered by insurance. Okay, that's good. When this thing fell to the ground, it was like a car accident draws a huge crowd on the highway. It was an event. Benedict Kaluch, an art advisor with Bel Air Fine Art, told the newspaper everybody came to see what happened. All right. I mean, anything else? All right. I'm just gonna say, moral of the story is, if you have a delicate piece, a sculpture, displayed in a see-through case on a pedestal, let's mark it right and say, hey, do not touch the pedestal whatsoever. So no shaking, no kicking, don't even fucking dance within around its radius. Right? If you're gonna dance or bop or bounce or jump, whatever, do it. You know what? Do it in the within the social distancing distance. Social distancing distance. Yeah, let's do all that activity 6 feet away from the pedestal. Okay. Okay. Moving on. um AI creations. Okay. I'm sorry for anyone who has tuned in to the episodes where I've talked about AI creations, bots and all that. Because this, I mean, it's growing, right? It's growing exponentially. So I'm afraid that the topic of AI may remain to be an ongoing discussion with all my guests throughout this year, depending the direction that the growth of AI goes, which it's gonna keep going up. I'm afraid there is no beating the AI. But so one article. So I'm curious because I've expressed sort of I've expressed my concerns with AI. Honestly, to put it like to all in one sentence is it's going to be real hard to know what's real or not. AI is taking over literature, taking over visual arts. It's shown demonstrations of what it can do with music from artists both alive and those who have passed away. All right. So that's scary. Um Film, it's already tapping into film now. Um AI technology being used for aging and de-aging. Like, bro, like fuck. It's definitely a takeover. So this article piqued my interest because the headline read, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman frets over potentially scary AI tools and how people of the future will view us. Um, is this like what is this shit? Can I not, do I have to like sign up for this thing but you ever like come across an article and the only way to actually read the article is like you have to sign up to or subscribe to whatever the publisher is. That's what's happening right here. All right, I can only see these first 3 lines of the article. Few people think about artificial intelligence and its ultimate impact on humanity more than Sam Altman, CEO of ChatGPT. maker, OpenAI. So when Altman worries about how people of the future will view us, it's worth paying attention. So is he saying what, like how we are gonna view him and people like him who are creating this technology? I probably would know more. We would all know more if I didn't have to subscribe to this website. Fuck you, Fortune.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's the website I'm on. Fortune.com. Fuck you, man. I don't want to subscribe to your bullshit. All right. Sorry, guys. That was a waste. Okay. I got one more article regarding AI, because this one is something that a lot of artists, the purest artists, like to make fun of AI art about, is the anatomically incorrect hands that they that they generate. So this headline says AI explain why they're so bad at drawing human fingers. And I guess the response is rendering realistic human fingers is challenging for AI because they are highly articulated and have complex shapes and textures. Okay. The AI explained, adding, capturing the subtleties of how light interactions with skin, nails, and wrinkles require advanced modeling and rendering techniques. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I mean, humans already hate drawing hands. So I imagine, perhaps AI can also face some difficulties with it. While all of this is certainly the case, that does miss a couple of key factors. Firstly, AI is already surprisingly adept at rendering accurate human faces, which, one of the past episodes I did was, about AI photos. That shit was freaky. It was freaking generating fake people. So AI is surprisingly adept at rendering accurate human faces, which are surely a more complex structure than a hand. And well, AI can't even get the number of fingers correct. That's true. Some AI-powered tools and applications can generate realistic images of faces, including facial features like eyes, nose, and mouth. The technology behind these applications is based on machine learning algorithms that have been trained on large data sets of human faces, which allows them to learn the patterns and details necessary to create realistic looking faces. However, even with advanced algorithms and large data sets, rendering fingers remains a challenging task for AI. But why? Why? What else do they say? Faces are relatively simpler to model because they have fewer moving parts and a more uniform surface texture. The human brain is also highly attuned to facial expressions and features, making the task of generating a convincing face a high priority for AI researchers. As a result, AI has made significant progress in generating realistic faces, but rendering fingers remains a challenging task that requires further research and development. Anything else? Did they say anything else? While AI has made significant progress in generating realistic images, it is true that some AI models have difficulty Yeah. Someone's in the hallway. All right. I guess that pretty much sums it up. ChatGPT on why fingers matter. There are also AI models that specialize in generating specific types of hand images, such as hand gestures or sign language. For example, the sign language transformer is an AI model that has been trained to translate sign language videos into natural language text. That's cool. And it includes a hand pose estimator that can accurately predict the position and orientation of fingers in the hand. So, according to the chatbot, the SLT achieves the latter via convolutional neutral net neural. I'm sorry, convolutional neural network. Then passing this information through a series of transformer layers, which encode the. Oh my God, it's using these words I've never fucking read. Encode the spatiotemporal information of the sign language gesture. Holy shit. All right. I think I've read it now. Hold on. It has the potential to improve communication and accessibility for the deaf and hard of hearing community, as well as other applications. That's cool. I asked if there were other practical uses for focusing on better understanding human fingers and okay. I don't want to get into all of that, but anyway, that's interesting though. Hold on. This caught my eye. Chat Sonic on why humans are still best. Let's see. Rival AI Chat Sonic offers a far more broad suite of AI abilities, albeit far less likely to provide accurate or coherent responses. During one conversation, I found it espousing to me the mental health benefits of removing one's own head. What? So I thought I'd let it respond to the topic. I began asking it to create a few images of human hand. Okay. So I guess it's just so this person asked ChatSonic to do the same thing to create hands, to generate hands, and the results were just as bad, if not worse. So, all right. I guess it's just data sets. I guess they need more data to be able to generate these more anatomically correct fingers. It's funny. It's funny and interesting. I would never, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, fucking hands and fingers are difficult to illustrate. Well, I was thinking before, just to kind of bring some light to the benefits of AI, because I did see one article that I didn't save about AI being used to help translate like different languages. So I remember seeing like ads for these like small handheld devices that will help you translate your words, like if you're going cross country or overseas, and you need help finding places, and the people that put out this content, they would use this device, they would speak into it, and then it would replay it, but it would translate it and play it, and and then the person they were speaking with, they would, oh, okay. Now I don't know if it was staged, because these days I have trouble trusting anything. But I don't know, it seemed believable at the time, and I guess maybe this is like a big step forward for those type of devices, those products, maybe incorporating AI technology with it. And I mean, I can see the benefits of that. I A while ago on one of the solo episodes about AI, I briefly talked about AI being used to translate animals. It's like animals' thoughts, or just like their, whatever sounds they make. Like if a dog's barking, like maybe you can use the AI to translate that. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I think that would be super useful, right? I mean, it would definitely make trips to the vet probably less stressful, or maybe more stressful if you know exactly what the problem is. But at least like shit, like I would know if my cats, if there's something going on, it would be cool to be like, yo, Siler, like, what's up, man? And then I don't know what he would say, but it would just be cool to hear his thoughts, get that translation. So I don't know. I'd like to think there are benefits, but again, because I tend to be in the middle and I question everything, who knows? Who knows if that AI is, being true to their user, you know? Like if they're translating things, what if they're mistranslating, huh? What if they're doing it on purpose? Who knows? But anyway. All right, at the end of my episode, uh I try to do this more often. I like to, end on a more positive note. So I found this article in my Yahoo Mail, and I thought this was really truly heartwarming. And this one really does kind of cut to the core for me. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But the headline is Disneyland footage of evil queen's interaction with 15-year-old boy goes viral on TikTok. Now, why, you may be asking? Because this boy is on the spectrum. And just watching the performance of the character, the actors at Disneyland, right? Disneyland. I mean, I gotta say this first, like, give these people a raise, because they have to deal with so much shit. So much, I mean, especially like harassment, all this shit, and they gotta stay in character. Like, these people need a raise. And I have a friend that is a Disney queen. And I gotta give her props. I don't know if I should, shout out her name, but I'll keep her private. I'll respect her privacy, because well, she's she's known to be, I believe, I'm not sure if this is still the case today, but she was the oldest out of the rest of the cast, one of the oldest cast members. I think that's what they call them at Disneyland. The cast members that dress up in character. She's one of the oldest cast members in regards to being a Disney princess, and I think she's like in her early 30s. So fucking hell yeah, fucking self-care. Maintaining, sustaining that self-care so you can look young and continue to be a Disney princess. She's actually two princesses. She's Princess Elena from I forget the show. It's like a Disney show. And she was I'm not sure if she still is, but she was also Princess Jasmine. So hell yeah. It's kind of cool to be like, yeah, I have a friend, and yeah, she's a Disney princess. Anyway, so yeah, this boy is on the spectrum, and just watching this cast member just taking care of him, and just being so respectful of his space, and just understanding like his condition. Like, it's just why I'm so touched by it is because my first nephew is on the spectrum as well. And this boy in the video, his body type is like the same as my nephew, and he, and I don't know how old he is. The boy in the video, my nephew is what, 23 now, or maybe 23 or 24, and he's just like, I mean, I'm talking the same body type, and the body language. I'm gonna make the assumption that they may be on the same level functional level in terms of, you know, where they are on the spectrum. But yeah, you know, I have a nephew that's on the spectrum, and this kid in the video kind of reminds me of him. And just watching this cast member just be so polite and so delicate with him, and again, like respecting his space, and I guess sort of understanding his body language, and you know, it's just it's so sweet. Like I love it. So I'm gonna make sure, you know, I clip it and share it in the video edition of this episode. But I just thought that was real sweet. And yeah, I just wanted to spread the love and inspiration that way. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Again, I kind of broke my word. I mean, I didn't make any promises, but I always try to strive to have shorter episodes when I do solo recordings, but I'm so long-winded that it's nearly impossible. We're about an hour and a half into this. But I want to say, if you have been tuning in this long, or maybe whatever, however long you've tuned into this episode, I want to say thank you. Again, I want to thank any new audience members who joined me on this episode. I want to thank the frequent audience members for joining me. If you enjoyed any of the content that you've tuned into, and you want to again support the podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, subscribe on whichever audio platform you're tuning in with. If you are watching on YouTube, please again subscribe to my channel. You'll have access to more of my artwork. And even more so, if you follow me on social media, mainly Instagram and Facebook, you'll see more insights on stuff that I'm working on. That's Art of G Terado. I didn't roll the R this time. Art of G Terado. And yeah, everything will be in the show descriptions. And actually, I really need to push this more. I have an online shop. Okay, it's on my website. I don't have an Etsy or anything. I have my own Square site, so that will also be in the show description. If you want to shop for art, I have a bunch of art that's for sale. And I am also open for commissions. So yeah, if you would like to commission some artwork or purchase any artwork, please just check out the links below. And yeah, and that is it, guys. I appreciate you all. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and for all of my fellow artists, creatives, small business owners, stay driven, all right? Keep fighting the good fight, keep doing what you love, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out, guys.